Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NASRA 360's Broadcasting Network live from NASRA Blanchard's Towing Cup Series from the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. Tonight, joining me in the commentary booth, Michael McKinnon with our track reporter, Brady LaBeouf. I'm Tyler Dittmer. And when we think of Bristol, the last great Coliseum, it really does define NASCAR, the short track, the beating and the banging, and reminds you of legends like Dale Earnhardt rattling Terry's cage, and Terry crashing, but he wins anyways. And, of course, Dale Jr.'s iconic quote of saying, "It's Bristol, baby." And you look even at this year, or last year, we had the infamous Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick incident at Bristol. And all of these events is what makes Bristol such a special and fun track to race. And tonight should be no exception. Now joining me in the commentary booth, Michael McKinnon. Michael, when you think of Bristol, what do you think is about it being one of the most quintessential tracks in NASCAR?
Well, I think of it being 33 degrees of banking. It's basically a Talladega on a half-mile track. It's wide, it's fast, it's mean. Car control, number one, keep it up by the wall, or can you dig it on the bottom? And tempers will flare before the evening's over.
As you said, those 33 degrees of banking is huge, especially on a concrete surface at Bristol. Obviously, weather should not be a factor tonight. Race will be run in the darkness, evening into darkness here, under the lights. Weather 80 degrees, partly cloudy, low wind. Should be great racing. The track should especially grip up throughout the night. As it gets darker, the track gets cooler, as these drivers have just a couple minutes left in their practice session. And I want to take this moment to really just talk about what happened last week in the Blanchard's Towing Cup Series, because this is our first time broadcasting the series on NASRA 360's Broadcasting Network. And last week, the drivers took to the 1.5-mile oval at Kansas, a race that went completely caution-free, despite numerous incidents of Cup cars getting into the wall, and a lot of lead changes, having 7 different leaders, 7 total lead changes, no cautions. And the dominant car all day was Rhett Tucker, but late in the race, he makes a couple mistakes, may have worn his tires too early. Nathan Rohe takes the lead with 15 laps to go and ends up winning the race. So definitely a couple of drivers to keep an eye out tonight as we look at this Bristol track. But Mike, as you know, some drivers are just so dominant at short tracks. Who do you have your eye on tonight?
Well, I know from personal experience. We raced Rhett Tucker here season 1 in the trucks. Everybody felt good. We felt great. We got a big long run at the end, and he lapped everyone up to 6th place. If he's able to do that again here, which we all know, this track is a combination of getting off the corner, braking in the corner, holding it up. You don't want to diamond too much. We know the diamond is the fastest way, but it kills the tires. So if he gets a good roll, good rhythm, long runs, I'm looking for Tucker tonight.
Yeah, as we'll take this moment to send it down to our track reporter, Brady LaBeouf. Brady, when you think about Bristol, just how much of a challenge is it on these drivers, those 33 degrees of banking, and how quickly do those corners come up on these drivers?
Oh, it comes up very, very quick, especially when you're falling behind somebody. You'll notice that if you're in somebody's tire tracks, and you'll tend to either follow them into the wall, and it's tough to pass already. So you got to make that run going into the corner and kind of do a slide job, and hopefully that you're cleared so that you don't get a bump in the back from it. So it should be interesting tonight to watch that and keep an eye on it.
Of course, and as these drivers wrapping up the practice session here at Bristol, qualifying should get underway here shortly. Drivers only have 5 minutes to get their qualifying laps in. Only a 45-minute practice session. Definitely different from what we've seen in other NASRA leagues. What does that play into it? Do you think that's a big deal, or do you think these drivers are spending a lot of time practicing throughout the week, Mike?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of these guys have ran this many, many times. This is one of every driver's favorite tracks. So I think they understand the dynamics of what they're doing. What's interesting to me, and like what you said, it's going day to night. Most of the time you think, okay, it's going to cool down, it'll grip up. A lot of times what you find is when the temperature drops, the tires don't hook quite as good. So I'm looking for maybe the bottom to be a little slick. I'm going to watch and see if this high line stays dominant.
So you look at Ryan Sizemore, number 8 Chevy Camaro from Stanford, Kentucky here. Winsmith Racing LLC Terraton sponsored on board. Look back at Richmond earlier this year. Ryan Sizemore led several laps, led later in the race, didn't end up taking the win home. That would go to Brandon Mathia, but Sizemore did finish third, so he seems to have some short track speed. Was relatively decent in practice, ran a 14.844. I think he may be a guy to look for tonight. So we also now are going to ride on board with Chris Blanchard, the namesake for Blanchard's Towing Cup from Clinton, Maine. Blanchard's kind of had, an up and down season. Hasn't really had the results he's wanted so far, but I think he's just a couple of good races from putting it together. Maybe having a run as we get closer to the playoffs here in the Cup Series.
Yeah, and you see right there the 2 100s, I believe the difference, 85 to an 87. So everybody running the same line. This one's a little lower. This one's going to be interesting to me with Noah Owens here from Stamford, Connecticut. Running the lower line should be faster. Don't know if I get the runoff. I think we'll see right here.
Yeah, Noah Owens from Stamford, Kentucky, driver of Blue Motorsports. Noah Owens currently sitting 9th in the point standing. Here we don't have stages in the Cup Series. NASRA. We don't have playoff points when you're in. It's a natural just point system that we run, and these drivers are in a year-long race, and then there's a chase, obviously, with some cutoffs. So it's kind of like a mix between the current playoff system in NASCAR and the old chase for the Sprint Cup that we had starting back in 2004, 2005, I believe. So I think some of these drivers will have to keep an eye on. So look at Alan Bledsoe, who was fastest in practice from Springfield, Missouri there in that 42 Chevy Camaro. He gets really loose off of 2 on his second lap. He may have to deal with his first lap. Fastest in practice, but car is really a handful as he spins out across the line and will not see an improvement. So he'll be 15.02. And now we're looking at one of my teammates from the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, Jose Luis Rivera, has strung together 3 consecutive third-place finishes in the Cup Series this year. So he'll be one to look forward to. He doesn't really run up front very often, but he's generally a very consistent driver and keeps himself out of trouble. We got a couple more drivers on track, but we'll kick it down to our pit road reporter, Brady LaBeouf. Brady, you have a pick for tonight's race.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring it down to me right whenever Alan Bledsoe spins out, because that was my pick since he was the fastest in practice. So I'm actually going to stick with him. I'm not going to. I'm hoping that he's going to bounce back from his qualifying run. So I'm going to go with the 42 Alan Bledsoe for tonight.
As Mike McKinn said earlier, I'm assuming you're going to go with the man we currently see on track, Rhett Tucker from Memphis, Tennessee, for Rhett Tucker Racing. Is that right, Mike?
100%. And I love the line he's running. This one's going to be good. I mean, this is going to be good right off the bat. I love the line. Here it comes now. He should be able to get speed. He'll get a little more off they got a little loose, but he's going to get a little more runoff. This is going to be very close.
Yeah, it's Rhett Tucker for Rhett Tucker Racing. He has a win on the year. His only win, though, coming at Darlington. He's going to go P1 pole sitter, Rhett Tucker. I'm going to go a little bit contrarian. I guess really not that contrarian. He's qualified currently second, but I'm going to take Ryan Sizemore, third at Richmond. He's currently sitting, it looks, 8th in the points. He's been very, very consistent. Hasn't won yet, but I think he's, tonight's the night he could put it together and have a really good race. He has 4 top 10s on the year. He's run really, really consistently, and I think he'll find his way to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, what I like seeing is, okay, the field's not huge. The field is all within a tenth. This should be very competitive. If you watch Tucker's line, I really liked it. You're always enter high in one, then you can cut it down and shoot it through the corner. And he was doing that consistently. And if he can do that, control the brake pedal, it's going to be hard for guys to catch him right off the bat. I'm assuming he will take the top line to start, and then we'll see how it goes. Because as I said, as it played, as we watched, low line very loose right now.
Yeah, and I think we didn't see any of the drivers reaching the practice times in those qualifying sessions. Even Rhett Tucker was almost a 10th off of his fastest practice time compared to his fastest qualifying time, which still does put Rhett Tucker on the pole, as these drivers should be preparing to grid up here. We're going to quick look through the grid. It's a very small grid tonight. Only 10 drivers, I believe. Brady LaBeouf will not be running. He's our pit road reporter, and Zach Hartwick is our race control. So we'll do a quick rundown through the field. On pole, Rhett Tucker, for Rhett Tucker Racing. Ryan Sizemore will start off P2, sitting there. He's part of Sizemore Motorsports, actually, in the series, so the teams may be a little bit different from what we have in here in NASRA. Starting third, Chris Blanchard. He'll be in here as part of, trying to find the team. Sorry about that. Can't find it on me. Jose Luis Rivera starting P4th. Zane Touchton starting 5th. Noah Owens 6th. Alan Bledsoe 7th. Fastest driver in practice, important to note. Nathan Roge 8th. Last week's winner at Kentucky, and Kelly Thomas 9th, I believe. And Kyle Fontaine will be the last driver that will actually be running so far tonight. As these drivers get ready to grid here, should be a very interesting race. Small field, like you said, Mike. Bristol, tight track. I feel like these drivers will maybe settle in a groove being a small field early on.
100%. I think they're going to settle in. They're going to run some laps. This is a very hard track to get to pit road speed. And with a short field and no stages, I feel like we're going to see a couple green flag stops. You don't really have to do it, but I feel like somebody will at some point put the tires on and see what goes.
Yeah, important to note. No stages again. 200 laps. These cars have 75% fuel capacity of their actual capacity. So we're hearing something around 100 to 120 lap fuel window. And they have 4 sets of tires to use, including the ones they're starting with. So definitely plenty of tires for this race. You can break it up into quarters if you think there's going to be a lot of cautions. But I'm expecting small field, a lot of green flag racing, which will be very entertaining and keep it very exciting for us here.
Yeah, me as well. I think the field will stay clean. These are good drivers, short field. People think this is a super complicated track to run. It's not. The big banking is forgiving. So that's what I'm looking for. I want to see if Tucker immediately goes and takes the outside lane. I'm assuming he will right here on the start. And we'll see what they can do from there.
Yeah, it's important to note. I mean, Rhett Tucker led the most laps at the other short track this year, Richmond, but he just could not finish. He struggled late in his run. It seemed like he may have hit the wall and got damaged. So we've seen Tucker have a lot of speed early on in these races, but he struggled to close the deal, minus the exception of Darlington. We'll see if he can close one tonight, as he looks to be a dominant factor early on if he can kind of control the field. But it'll be interesting to see those later laps in the run. How does his car handle? Will people be able to gain on him? And will traffic come into play? Because I certainly believe it will if we have a long green flag run in this race. Brady, before we get going, as they're on their last pace lap, any quick thoughts?
Yeah, just to see everybody kind of, who's going to, they got 4 sets of tires. It sounds like they can go about 115 laps on fuel. So it's who's going to short pit and try to jump positions is what I'm looking at.
And it'll definitely be interesting to see how that works. Also with Richmond, of all the cautions in Richmond, there was 4 total. 3 of them happened in the first 20 laps of the race. So sometimes at these short tracks, these guys get a little impatient, get a little racy early, and then you see them kind of settle in later in the run. As we're about to go green here at Bristol, Rhett Tucker leads the field to the green flag. Ryan Sizemore alongside as the field drives into turn 1, and looks like Sizemore may give up second place here on lap 1. And he'll slot in the third. He's going to run the high line as Jose Luis Rivera looking to make up some ground on this opening lap and get by Ryan Sizemore.
Yep, very surprised with Tucker right there. And you see right now Blanchard losing it a little loose. Surprised he took the bottom line. And, Jose is going to have to watch himself here trying to get off the corner.
As he saw Blanchard hitting that inside wall, he'll probably have significant damage as we have contact between Rivera and Sizemore. Oh, and that's going to do some significant damage for Sizemore on that left front. That may be early end of his race. It looks like Rivera got slowed down when he hit the wall, but important to know how much damage these drivers may have, as that's our first caution. And like we saw at Richmond, very early on, caution on lap 3. So hopefully these drivers can get settled back down, as we're going to look at the Pulse Poppers instant replay and kind of see what happened here again in slow motion.
Yeah, typical case, guys trying to get too much right off the beginning here. And then we know with these cars, the rack and pinion steering, very, very twitchy. Start to slide it out, you're fighting the wheel. Next thing you know, you push, and you're right in the left rear quarter.
Yeah, and you said that rack and pinion steering, it's a much faster response. It looks kind of like a little bit like Rivera came up, but Sizemore not really running the top there. He's kind of a half lane off the top that he was running before. As it looks like Rivera gets tapped in the rear there by the 88 machine. So something to keep an eye on, though. But like you said, these drivers, a little bit aggressive early, and may come back to bite them, as the 88 of Noah Owens gets a little bit of probably front end damage there.
Yeah, we understand you can take a lot of damage here, keep running. You just don't want it in that front end. If it loses any RPM, a little bit of power, you're going to just lose and lose and lose off every corner. So we'll get the pace laps out of the way and see how they feel about their cars and see what they got after that little spin.
Looks like we had an incident on pit road between Ryan Sizemore, Christopher Blanchard, Jose Luis Rivera. I don't know if any of the cameras caught that, but it looks like when they were entering the pit road, they were struggling to, I don't know, maybe figure out the order they should be going in. It looks like Sizemore got turned around. Maybe he was going to miss his pit entry there. All three of those drivers are going to pit for damage repair and probably just get put on their set of tires. Like I said earlier, 4 sets of tires is more than plenty for a 200-lap race here in Bristol.
Yeah, way more than plenty. I want to see how Sizemore reacts after getting turned and then turned again. That if that's the case, they may want to watch what's going on here real soon.
Yeah, Brady, is there any chatter on the radio? I can see a lot of the drivers keying up. What's the conversation like down there for them?
Well, the situation was a bunch of confusion with pit road. Is it single pit roads or double pit roads? So they're trying to figure out which turn is the pit road entrance under caution and green flag. But it seems like they got it together now.
Yeah, it looks like that confusion is what led to Sizemore spinning out. And it looks like, based on the cones I'm seeing, it is a single pit road. So they have to enter off of 2 down the back stretch, even if their pit stall's on the front stretch, which all of them should be. And then they have to exit out of 2 as well on the apron. So it looks like single pit roads here tonight at Bristol based on the cones and the lines that iRacing is showing me.
Yeah, it should be one to go right here. We'll see when I get to the line. Get everybody lined up. I'm interested. Tucker took the bottom line on the initial start. I want to see if he still trusts the tires that well, or if he's going to stay down. I'm very surprised at that. Apparently, he doesn't mind if he ends up second coming out of 2. So this is interesting for me.
Yeah, as we see Zane Touchton and Rhett Tucker on your front rows, they'll be coming green when they come back around on the front stretch. Also, interesting enough, Rhett Tucker kind of doing something similar they did at Richmond. Led early, cautions, kind of helped him save tires, but he eventually gave up the lead to the current points leader, Brendan Mathia. About halfway through that race, Brendan Mathia not running tonight. He's your points leader by a significant margin of 96 points over Jose Luis Rivera and Rhett Tucker. Second, 96 points back. As Rhett Tucker gets a great jump there early on, he'll get clear on this restart well into 1. Looks like Zane Touchton is going to be side by side with trying to 88 number there of Noah Owens. And these drivers still, I guess, not giving an inch, not really being patient early on as we thought they might. It looks like 6th or 7th back there, but it looks like the front 4 are going to try and get single file as Alan Bledsoe is going to slide.
I mean, Touchton really getting a great run off the top, and then he diamonded up right there to see if he could maybe get underneath Tucker here. I think Tucker will pull him here, but Touchton really getting a run off the corner right now.
Touchton is using those tires up early, but he's going to get to the front and lead here lap number 11 as we have cars being really loose off the 4, and everyone's kind of scrambling so no one makes any more contact. But Zane Touchton, new leader here on lap number 12 now at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it looked like Bledsoe got a little loose, a little hard on the throttle coming off. But Tucker just trying to settle in a groove, I think, rather than, as you said, Touchton, to me, maybe I'm wrong, running a little bit too much of an aggressive line for a 200-lap race. Right in the middle of the track, using up the tires. We'll see if that hurts him here at about 20, 30 laps.
Yeah, as Touchton is checking out, Owens is slotted up to 2nd. Rhett Tucker dropping to 3rd. As we have a really big battle here for 4th between Alan Bledsoe, Nathan Rohe, and Jose Luis Rivera, who's going to work his way up to the field.
Yeah, doing a great job with the recovery. Apparently he didn't get too much damage, a little bit loose off the corner, but I feel like if he would follow Bledsoe right through, I think we're good here. But Bledsoe seemed to be struggling just a bit on that top side.
Yeah, Bledsoe looking like he's trying to diamond, and Jose Luis Rivera is going to look to the inside of Rhett Tucker here for position. And even looking inside to Nathan Rohe here, Jose Luis Rivera not really wanting to sit here and wait. And we know he's generally can be a patient guy, but sometimes he can be rather impatient. He wants to get to the front here early and get that clean win.
Yeah, if anybody watches our Friday night series, they understand Jose's very, very aggressive if he feels like his car, truck, whatever it may be, is sticking well, and he's going to go for everything he's got. See if it hurts him here down the line. But as you said, Touchton is out of touch. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, Touchton just dominating up front. Noah Owens set quite comfortably into 2nd. battle still raging throughout the field. Nathan Rohe, third. Jose Luis Rivera, fourth. Kyle Fountain is sitting in fifth ahead of Alan Bledsoe and Rhett Tucker, rounding out the top seven. Everyone seems to have gotten single file. Christopher Blanchard making a nice recovery after hitting the inside wall early. He's behind Rhett Tucker in eighth. Ryan Sizemore probably struggling, may have more significant damage than we thought. That's going to really hurt my pick as he looks like, oh, there was a little bit loose as Kyle Fountain slid up in front of Alan Bledsoe, and they made contact on the corner there. Maybe Bledsoe's saying, hey, you necessarily weren't clear. If you're going to slide in front of me, you better be significantly faster than I am off the corner.
Yeah, a little bit of a slide job, I believe, there. But I'm really interested here. Touchton is doing something I didn't think he could do, and that is use the middle, use the bottom. And now you see he's starting to migrate. As soon as I mentioned it, right, migrate to the top. Got a great lead. Now he should be able to get into a groove and probably hold off the charge here of Owens.
Yeah, as Owens has slotted a lot closer to Touchton up front, but Nathan Rohe and Jose Luis Rivera are now taking the third, and has kind of put some space between himself and Nathan Rohe. Alan Bledsoe sitting in fifth, and everyone's just kind of biding their time right now. No one's making any aggressive moves, but really from fourth through, it looks like 11th or 10th, they're pretty tight. They're all in the corner together.
Yeah, we're seeing what we kind of expected here. Let's get in a groove, get in a rhythm, and knock some laps down. 200 laps seems like a lot, but not here at 14 seconds apiece, 15. Several different lines being used. I'm just really surprised with this. And the bottom is actually working. So that's a good sign for some good racing later on.
So you see some side-by-side action in the back of the pack, but all 10 drivers are within 5 seconds of our leaders. It sounded like they may have had some contact, and there's a caution on the track, as it may have been very chaotic in the back of the pack there. We'll try to see what happened back there. But Rhett Tucker is involved, and Ryan Sizemore is involved. So two of our broadcast picks involved in the caution there. We're going to have to look at the Pulse Poppers instant replay and see what happened.
Yeah, I'm interested to see here. Did somebody come up? Somebody have a run? Let's see.
So Rhett Tucker looking, yeah, it looks like Ryan Sizemore getting loose off of 4. A little bit of net code, and that just kind of collects Kyle Fountain there, and Tucker hard into the outside wall. Sizemore obviously stepped there with him. Does Fountain collect the inside fence there? Does he clear it? Looks like Fountain may have gotten away with it unless Blanchard comes up and collects him. Which, oh, look at that move by Blanchard, threading the needle. I mean, an excellent move by Blanchard to avoid that wreck. It looks like maybe Kelly Thomas caught a little bit of Ryan Sizemore's bumper there.
Yeah, nothing better for Blanchard. Didn't get a 4 for 1 right there. That's fortunate for him. It just seemed like a little bit of tightness out of Tucker there, and then, like you said, a little net code. I don't really think they touched, to be honest, but we all understand the virtual world. If it thinks you're close enough, it's going to tell you about it.
Yeah, and 6 on back, Christopher Blanchard leading 6 through 10th onto pit road. Definitely something to keep an eye on here, but maybe a little bit of frustrations from these drivers. Nathan Rohe will be the last car to stay out, but Blanchard, Thomas, Fountain, Tucker, and Sizemore all hitting pit lane here. Probably going to get some damage repairs if they need to get more damage repair. Obviously, probably a good time to get 4 fresh tires, especially if you locked up or slimmed tires.
Yeah, I would definitely take tires here because we know these pace laps do not take that long. So you're only getting 20, 30 seconds of repair time. So new set of tires might be the best repair you can do on it right now.
Yeah, as we look back up front, and Zane Touchton still out front. Noah Owens sitting second. Jose Luis Rivera third. Jose Luis Rivera, again, sitting in third. He's been third the last 3 weeks. He's trying to keep that streak going. Alan Bledsoe sitting there fourth, the fastest man in practice, starting to work his way to the front. And Nathan Rohe started 10th last week, started 10th last week, bided his time, took the lead late, won the race at Kansas. He's a driver to keep his eye on. He's a very talented driver. He knows how to wait. He knows how to get his way to the front.
Oh, yeah, of course. We've known Nathan for a long time. Always a pleasure to watch him run. I'm interested to see here. This is another situation. Tires are a little older now. Does Touchton go to the top? Does he try the bottom, or does he just take the bottom and jump the restart and hope he can get clear by the time he gets into one?
Tucker and Blanchard diving back down pit road. I don't know if they're going to avoid being able to be lapped by going in back-to-back laps here at Bristol. That's a pretty risky play, it would seem to me. So they just dove down pit road again. Ryan Sizemore is out of the pits, though, currently, as well as Fountain Thomas. So those 3 drivers have all pitted. Top 5 have not. Well, that correction. Jose Luis Rivera and did pit when he had that early incident in the race, as we can see. But looks like everyone else just trying to get restacked here. As the lights clear out on the pace track, we should be going back green when they come back around. Be interesting to see where Tucker and Blanchard. This looks like they will go up and down. Maybe? Nope. Tucker got out, it looks like, in time.
Yeah, Justin taking the bottom here. He's going to assume he can get away quickly, get it up the track, and get gone. Let's see what happens.
Green flag, green flag.
Takes him back. Zane Touch takes him to the guy who restarted on it. He spins the tires, and Noah Owens is going to get to the line first. We may have an investigation into that start, but Alan Bledsoe pushing Noah Owens through 1 and 2. Touchdown regains the lead as Blanchard's going to go a lap down there after pitting for repairs. That's an unfortunate situation for Blanchard, but everyone else seems to be on the lead lap as Zane Touchdown trying to hold on to the lead after a really bad restart.
Yeah, it looked to me like he got on the apron just a touch. I think it probably surprised him, spun the tires, got him to the apron, but great recovery quickly not to lose 3 or 4 spots.
Brady, as we check in on the drivers, what are the drivers saying about this track? It seems like they're really struggling for grip.
Yeah, they're complaining about front tire grip at the moment. So Ryan Sizemore mentioned that he didn't have any front tire grip. That's why he couldn't really slow down the car whenever him and Rhett Tucker got into it. And Kyle Fonten just got into he's very, very loose. I don't think he took tires on the last pit stop. So he touched the wall a couple of times as you see him going down pit road again. Interesting note, Rhett Tucker did not take tires. Everybody else did on those last stops, so he was getting his damage fixed. And then he came down pit road again, but I guess he wanted to avoid getting put a lap down, so he just passed through pit road on his own.
As we get 3 wide back in the pack, but we have a new leader out front, and it is your fastest man in practice, Alan Bledsoe. Noah Owens sitting second again, but Alan Bledsoe kind of pushed Noah Owens through that restart to get ahead of Zane Touchdown. Zane Touchdown struggling mightily. He's falling back to 6'4", now even. Zane Touchdown just cannot seem to come to grips with his machine right now. Any words on Brady as what Zane's saying about his car, or is he kind of just quiet on the radio?
No, he's very quiet on the radio, but we all know that running that bottom like that ate up those tires early for 28 laps. So I'm pretty sure that he's hoping for a caution here soon to get 4 fresh tires.
We have a battle for third between Rhett Tucker and Jose Luis Rivera, and Rhett Tucker going to close the door on him, a slide drop, as Mike would say, and these guys are battling hard from 3rd through 6th, it looks like.
Yeah, you're starting to notice these guys really using this diamond pattern, which you want if you want to go fast. Also kills the tires. If we see somebody kind of migrate to the wall, which Bledsoe was coming in a little higher than the other guys, so I really want to see how this works for these fellas. Tucker, you sure he didn't get tires? Because, man, he looks shot out of a cannon right now.
I could be wrong on that, Mike, but it didn't look like the car was jacked up whenever he went down pit road.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with Mike. He does look like he is shot out of a cannon, and Rhett Tucker's going to go to second here, but Alan Bledsoe, I mean, has just come out to a comfortable lead. I mean, just really controlling the field right now, and looks like Kyle Fountain is out of the race. Christopher Blanchard 1 lap down, so we are down to 8 drivers on the lead lap here. Alan Bledsoe with a 2-second lead over Rhett Tucker, but that gap is coming down as Tucker looks to be maybe on fresher tires. He is kind of running down Bledsoe. Important to note, though, the tire fall-off here is already evident. Despite the amount of laps you've run under caution, Bledsoe's running 15.7s right now. Whole time was a 14.8. Fastest lap in practice was another 14.7 for Bledsoe. So he's about a second off his top-end pace right now as we're on lap 45 and 200.
Yeah, and that's very expected. For those watching at home, if this shot we have, if you see the numbers on the cars when they go into the corner, they're too low. You got to be right up to the top or you are chewing tire. These guys right here are going to find that out here in just a minute.
Yeah, these drivers are just kind of searching for grip and trying to give their tires some reprieve, but Definitely no one is taking it easy at all, especially you have to kind of be on the wheel at all times here at Bristol. That lead has kind of stayed stagnant at about 1.7, 1.6 seconds for Bledsoe over Tucker. Tucker no longer taking those big chunks out. We have a nice battle here between Luke and Rohe, and it looks to be Kelly Thomas and the 15 machines. These guys are battling over here.
Yeah, guys, I just went and get with the crew chief on the Rhett Tucker 99 machine, and they did not take tires.
That's important.
Wow. Yeah, he really just got gone. And it's important. I'm sitting here saying, hey, you have to run the wall, you have to run the wall. If you're feeling a push in your car and you're a little scared to, it's probably the best to stay in the middle. So they're just going to wait it out, hope for another caution, I guess, before they get the tires, and keep themselves safe from that wall.
So Tucker is bringing down that gap again. Those last 4 laps, and it's been over a tenth faster than Bledsoe. Another 10, almost 2 tenths there. Tucker now on the same straightaway as Bledsoe. He can see him, but Tucker has some company behind with Kelly Thomas, and Kelly Thomas is there, and that's going to probably slow down Rhett Tucker, because that battle for second is going to heat up.
Yeah, like we said, this is a very much so a rhythm track. Throttle, brake, turn, throttle, brake, turn, over and over and over again. And you can literally lose where you're at. It goes so fast. But as you see, this battle for the lead is going to show up very, very soon.
Looks like Bledsoe may have gotten into the wall there a little bit, scraped, and we have 2 drivers closing in the leader with Kelly Thomas and Rhett hunting down Alan Bledsoe as they're running. Christopher Blanchard lapped down, trying to naturally unlap himself from these leaders. He has been the fastest car on track the last 5 laps. Important to note, Blanchard is coming. He has fresh tires, and he is probably a little pissed off after being involved in so many incidents early on.
100%. What I just noticed, if Tucker did not take tires, and you're saying he didn't, what a move into the corner. All the way from all the way to the bottom, and it's stuck. And then right there, too deep, tight, lose a spot. But his car is really hooked up right now, it looks like.
And that's evidence, though, of those tires not especially if they're on a level playing field with Bledsoe, which we think. But Kelly Thomas rocketing to the front. He can get clear, which he does. Thomas, your new leader here at Bristol, at least for now, but it looks like Tucker's going to try to get by Bledsoe. And Blanchard really wants to get by these guys, but he doesn't want to get himself in a position where he could get wrecked again and go another lap down. Blanchard really trying to run his line and try to get back towards them. So.
Yeah, Thomas checking out. We'll see if he's just saved more tire. He's just checking out. What I am noticing, and I think it's great, early enough in the race, you see Tucker dive under Bledsoe. He didn't pinch, didn't do any of that stuff, gave him room, let him go, wait for a tire change. Now with Tucker in clean air and Blanchard in clean air, we'll see if they can get up to Thomas and try to take the lead and get the lap back.
Agree. And for those of us who are new to the Blanchard's Towing and Recovery Cup Series, Kelly Thomas is no slouch. I mean, he is sitting 5th in points, only 150 points behind the leader, Brendan Mathia, who has a significant gap over second. So really, 150 points behind is nothing when you see hasn't won a race, but you know he's been consistent. He's had a relatively good year. He's kept the car clean. Excuse me. Kelly Thomas definitely one who can get the job done if he has the ability to.
Oh, 100%. Any of these guys can win. Let's be honest. As we've talked before, I mean, maybe this track just sets up well for him. He loves it. Just like myself, I'm not great everywhere, but I'm really good here and don't know why. He may be the same way because he's got a really good line running right now. To me, it's too low, but I don't know. I haven't done enough of these next gens.
As we have a battle for the lucky dog, Zane Touchton just got lapped by Kelly Thomas. Blanchard just got by Zane Touchton. So one of our early leaders who looked to have a dominant car really struggling for grip. He looks like he may have gotten into the wall. Zane Touchton really struggling, really falling back off the pace. He's running 16.9 second laps as we look towards our leader. I mean, our leader is running 15.8 second laps, so over a second slower than our leader, Zane Touchton.
Yeah, and I think Blanchard, if he runs the line he's running, I think he's going to naturally get his lap back. I just feel like the momentum up there is going to be better. I've been wrong every time I've said it tonight, but I feel like he's going to be there in the next 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, Blanchard's last lap being a 15.8, Thomas being a 16 flat, so Blanchard is reeling in our leader, but again, that would not be for position. That's to get a lap back as we're looking at the 88 Noah Owens machine, where he is sitting in 5th, and he has company behind him and Jose Luis Rivera in 6th, and Ryan Sizemore in 7th. But these guys got to get a move on. They're only about a quarter of a track ahead of our leader, Kelly Thomas. They could be in position to be lapped here soon.
Yeah, it happens so quickly here. Like you said, 15-second laps, 16-second laps. Before you're losing 2 or 3 tenths a lap. I mean, 30 laps, which seems like a lot, but not here. And next thing you know, you're a lap down.
Yeah, and they're running close to a half a second slower than the leader right now. The 5th through 7th place cars. They got to be worried, especially if we don't get a caution soon. But, you know, we also have to start looking towards maybe a green flag stop to get these drivers to the end. We heard about 115 laps is what the max fuel run would be. You know, we're sitting about 130 laps out. If we don't think we're going to get any more cautions the rest of this race, which is possible based on what we've seen in history in short tracks for the Cup Series, Blanchard Time Recovery Cup Series, maybe you pit when you see that 115, 110 lap mark, get your final pit stop done, get out back on track, and just log laps to the end.
Yeah, you very well could. The problem here is they're so close to in front of the leader. If they pit now, they could possibly go 3 laps down. Now, they'll get a couple back maybe when the leader pits, but if they were closer to him, you'd have a better shot at that. I don't know. It's really going to mess with their pit strategy right here.
I will say we have seen being the first person on pit road does yield a lot of benefits. Fresher tires sooner is a big deal. Zane Touch coming on pit road. He has been significantly off the pace. And his night may be over here, but he's going to try and see if he can fix up his Chevy Camaro. See if he can continue on. But the battle, Kelly Thomas has caught this pack of Ryan Sizemore, Jose Luis Rivera, and Noah Owens. But Christopher Blanchard has also caught Kelly Thomas, and he's trying to unlap him.
Yes, this is going to pay dividends probably for Tucker, all those guys. Bring them back in a little bit before they set up for their pit stop. I just think Thomas he's going to have to alter his line to make these passes.
As Jose Luis Rivera into the wall there, that should open up a little bit of space now that him and Ryan, as we're not running Kelly Thomas to get through. But when those guys are running side by side, obviously that's going to slow down your leader, Kelly Thomas.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just absolutely shocked he can run that bottom line this late in the run and run it so well. I mean, this is just hats off to the 15.
As there's a caution out on the track, unsure of what it could have been for. Trying to look around, see what happens. It looks like Rhett Tucker slow on the apron. We'll try and get you guys a replay of what happened, but caution. And we are close to that fuel window we were talking about earlier. Looks like Zane Touchton may have brought up the caution here.
New tires hit the apron. They're cold and probably going to snap it here. Didn't see it, but I'm going to guess he snaps it.
Yeah, as we're looking to see what exactly brought up the caution, cannot really tell at this moment. Maybe one of those phantom iRacing debris. Nope, there it is. And it finally comes back. On the low side, less banking. And that is going to end Zane Touchton's line. Oh, it just clobbers the safer barrier on the inside. And that car is probably done for the evening.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that hasn't driven one of these, when you hit the apron here, it just unloads your car. And you can't do anything about it. You're just gone. You're just along for the ride.
Pit stops underway here at Bristol. And interestingly enough, Kelly Thomas, our leader, does not pit. Lap cars of Jose Luis Rivera and Christopher Blanchard also staying out. Rhett Tucker also out. He is on the lead lap, as well as Ryan Sizemore, who's also a lap down. But lead lap car of Alan Bledsoe, Nathan Rohe, and Noah Owens all pitting here under the caution.
Yeah, I like the strategy. Small field. Go in and get your tires. You're going to be a second faster immediately. You're going to drive right through the field. But how long can you manage that rubber on this concrete monster?
As now the lap cars will probably come in of Rhett Tucker. Oh, Rhett Tucker is a lap down. That's interesting. He may have hit before the caution came out. Brady, any word on if Rhett Tucker may have came down pit road before the caution came out?
I'll look through and see. At the moment, I don't have an answer, but let me go run down there and see.
Appreciate all the work you do for us, Brady. Yeah, it's just interesting enough to note, though, we have now 3 drivers, 1 lap down with Christopher Blanchard, Jose Luis Rivera, and Rhett Tucker. Looks like Ryan Sizemore's actually on the lead lap still. He's going to come down. Looks like he missed pit road the first time. So, but our leader staying out Alan Bledsoe on fresh tires, Nathan Rohe on fresh tires, Noah Owens on fresh tires. That's going to give Kelly Thomas all he could bargain for and more on this restart.
I was going to say, there is a lucky dog, right? I mean, it should have been Blanchard there. I see him coming down pit road. Did he take the lucky dog or did he not?
It does not look like he received the lucky dog, so some confusion for sure. It's interesting to know if the leader was technically ahead of Ryan Sizemore when the caution came out, then Sizemore could have gotten the lucky dog.
Yeah, 100%. That could be the case. Maybe he had a nose out in front. I'm not sure. I thought Blanchard had that locked up for sure, but he's in the pit road now, and he never did take the wave around or the lucky dog. Well, he couldn't have got the wave around, so. But that's odd.
That's an unfortunate situation for Blanchard. I think that may have been the case that Thomas had his nose out in front of Ryan Sizemore. When the caution flew, Sizemore gets the immediate lucky dog, pits. He's now back on the lead lap. So currently only 5 cars on the lead lap, but they will all have fresh tires, unlike our leader, Kelly Thomas, who did not pit. I know we're technically outside the fuel window, but was that maybe a bad decision for Kelly Thomas? Because if we go green long-term here, he's going to probably go a lap down very quickly.
We'll see here on the restart. Does he spin? Does he get gone? I'm going to look for Bledsoe very, very quickly to overtake him here.
Thomas got a good jump, though, on that restart. He may have restarted in third gear. He didn't get a great acceleration, but he just got away smoothly. But, I mean, look at Bledsoe. Just powers through on the outside and takes the lead. He has nothing for these guys in fresh tires.
No, the fresh tires, they're going to dominate for the next 50 laps. To me, Thomas is going to have to pray for a caution here, or he's going to get lapped.
Yeah, I think Thomas is probably kicking himself for that indecision to pit. I think that's might cost him a chance at a victory, too.
A quick note, guys. Ryan Sizemore was noted a lap down. Thomas was in front of him, so Ryan Sizemore was actually the lucky dog. And Rhett Tucker was on pit road when a caution came out to get 4 fresh tires, so that's why he was a lap down.
Just an unlucky break for Tucker then.
Thank you for the excellent reporting there on pit road, Brady. We appreciate you getting all the inside details. And that kind of gets back to what we thought happened. Was that, and we have an incident on the front stretch. Tucker into the wall again. Rhett Tucker's night just going from bad to worse. No caution out. He was in the wall on the front stretch. I heard the tire squeal and saw him up against that wall. So as we see out front, yeah, it's just kind of a crazy night so far at Bristol.
Been absolutely crazy. Guys that are great can't hold on to it. As we said, though, the night track, not quite as much grip. It just seems to work that way. And the loose off the corners is just biting several guys.
And that also may be a product of this next-gen car. I know iRacing has made the next-gen a little bit more difficult to drive than it probably is in the real world. We see, though, I mean, even the Cup guys in real life in the next-gen car have incidents on their own, even without tires failing necessarily. A lot of issues, obviously, with the next-gen car that we've seen in real-world racing. But here in iRacing, we don't have to worry about any of those problems as we see these cars putting on a very entertaining race so far. Alan Bledsoe has checked out to almost a 2-second lead over Nathan Rohe.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if he can manage the tires a little better than he did last time. You'll notice here he's not diamonding quite as much. He's staying on the very edge of the top of the black, which is what you want to do. So he should get a little better tire life this time.
Yeah, we did see Rohe gain almost a tenth of a second there. Definitely interesting to see that has come back to him. And, you know, these drivers, I mean, Kelly Thomas, he was over 10 he's now already over 10 seconds behind the leader on track. So in less than 15 laps, he's lost 10 seconds, now 11 seconds. Thomas is going to get lapped here in the coming laps. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to fight Bledsoe at all on these first timers.
Yeah, that's 100% what I expected. As we said, I mean, these are very quick laps. And if you're losing a second a lap, I mean, 15, 16 laps, you're down.
Yeah, just for a comparison of speeds, we have Bledsoe running a 15 flat. We have Kelly Thomas running a 16.4, so over a second a lap faster, almost a second faster. Not really any great battles for position on track at the moment. We have lap cars intermixed with lead lap cars. As Alan Bledsoe is about to put down Kelly Thomas a lap down here, coming around to the start-finish line, and Kelly Thomas would go a lap down. What once seemed to be a dominant car is now a lap down after probably a poor decision on pit road.
Yeah, I mean, with so many extra sets of tires, I just don't see any benefits of staying out. But hey, he was by far the best tire saver of the bunch. Maybe he can hope they'll equalize and he can, run around and not lose too much right here. Maybe he can stay in a lucky dog position, but it's hard for me to see it.
As he holds up Nathan Rohe, the second place car. Jose Luis Rivera, who he is battling for the lucky dog, is going to get by him on 3 and 4 here. So now Kelly Thomas no longer in the lucky dog spot. But that battle for the lucky dog could heat up here as Rhett Tucker is trying to chase down Jose Luis Rivera.
Yeah, I'm super shocked with Tucker. I mean, he stuck the front end right in the flag stand and still strong. So good to see the car is still up under him.
Yeah, as Christopher Blanchard already a lap down, now under fire from the leader, Alan Bledsoe, about to go another lap down as we look at the lucky dog battle between Rivera and Tucker, as Tucker's going to go to the inside of Jose, and Blanchard will go a second lap down to Bledsoe. But that battle for that lucky dog could really heat up here as we have almost 100 laps left in the race already tonight. Almost to the halfway point as Alan Bledsoe leads by quite a large margin over Nathan.
Yeah, 2.7 seconds right now. But as we said, he seemed to burn up pretty quickly before. So we'll see if everybody's just got a plan. They're going to ride, save. And if we don't get another caution, this could get real interesting.
As we said, they pitted with about 120, 125 laps left. We're hearing about 115 laps on a tank of fuel, maybe a couple laps short. That fuel battle could be a thing if we have a green flag run to me, as Mike was saying, but still Alan Bledsoe out front by 2.7, 2.8 seconds over Nathan Rohe. But like we saw last week in Kansas, Nathan Rohe, he saves tires. He bides his time. He's not going to blow you away with that short run speed. He's going to wait. He's going to be patient. He's going to hunt you down late in the race.
Yeah, and you saw right there on the graphic, 4 of the last 5 laps, he's almost reeled him in by a 10th. So, no, he's lost a 10th. I'm sorry. He's obviously saving tires. No question about it.
Tires and maybe even fuel. As Christopher Blanchard slows down on the front straightaway, he may have a problem. As Kelly Thomas did pit 4 tires under green there as we see him coming off of pit road, off of 2 there. But Christopher Blanchard coming down pit road, maybe he doesn't think he can make it to the end.
Yeah, obviously Thomas had a strategy. He was going to wait till a certain number and then come pit. So that'll probably be the last time you see him on pit road unless we get a late caution. And I just want to see these 2 teammates right here, if they can get in line, try to give Bledsoe a battle. Of course, Tucker, he's going to try to unlap himself the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, as we see the 2 Rhett Tucker Racing Esports teammates of Nathan Rohe and Rhett Tucker. Rhett Tucker obviously a lap down, but he is in the lucky dog spot, as you said. But with so few cars on track at the moment, he may have to rely on unlapping himself naturally and just beating Bledsoe on pure speed.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way right now. They're very spread out. It should just be running consistent, not pushing too hard. And we'll see, because he's obviously making gains.
Christopher Blanchard has officially left the session. He is out of the race. He's taking his car with a lot of damage on it from multiple incidents, really struggling with speed. He has taken it to the garage. He is done for the evening. So currently we have 3 drivers who took the green flag who are out of the field. Kyle Fountain, Zane Touchton, who led quite a bit of laps early on, and obviously Christopher Blanchard, who had a fast car, kind of got himself in some trouble early on, none to his own fault, and unfortunately his night is over.
Yeah, and we see Thomas with that questionable decision, 4 laps down now. Simply got lapped on track and then lost 3 more while he pitted. It's a shame. That car was just on rails.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be kicking himself, but Alan Bledsoe still out front by 3.5 seconds now over Nathan Rohe, but like we've seen before, it looks like Rohe's just buying his time, as Rohe's going to have a very angry and very fast Kelly Thomas trying to unlap himself rather quickly here on fresh tires.
Yeah, I expect Thomas to get 1 lap back fairly quickly, but 3 more is that's going to be a little hard to ask for, I think. Oh, we got somebody touching the wall there.
Noah Owens and Ryan Sizemore there, battling for position, mind you, for the 3rd place position. Ryan Sizemore just looking to the inside of Noah Owens there on the outside, and Sizemore can't get the move done the moment, but he's going to keep trying, as Kelly Thomas did get by Nathan Rohe in the process of trying to unlap himself. He's going to try to chase down Rhett Tucker and then the leader, Alan Bledsoe. Interesting to note, though, Kelly Thomas does not have to pit the rest of the race, as we see Noah Owens hit the wall again. But everyone else up front may have to. I mean, Kelly Thomas is for sure within the fuel window. Everyone else who pitted on about lap 80, lap 75, lap 80, they may have to make another stop. So that should be something we might have to look out for at the end. Maybe his decision to pit may not hurt him as much as we think.
Yeah, may end up paying benefits. Like I said, it was very obvious he had a strategy, and he stuck to it. You see Sizemore just digging and digging. Oh, they're going to make contact. Oh, good save. We see Sizemore just digging this bottom. I don't see it working, but I've said it all night. I can't believe how well the bottom is soaking.
Yeah, maybe iRacing applied some PJ1 or some sticky stuff there to the bottom, but I think Ryan Sizemore, if he can't get it in this next lap, I think he should get in line behind Owens, try to get a really good run, outrun Owens off the corner, and then dive bomb into a corner, try to get clear as quickly as possible. We see Owens struggling to keep his corner off the wall as well.
Yeah, 100%, Tyler. To me, it's get it done and get off the bottom, but he's just going to continue to stay. He might get him here. If he can get him here and slide up, he's finally set sail.
Yeah, Sizemore finally gets clear into third position, but that battle definitely cost both of them a lot of tire wear and a lot of time. They are sitting well over 8 seconds behind our leader, Alan Bledsoe, who is just dominating right now this race.
Well, and if you notice, we're looking at the ticker. Rohe has knocked 0.6 off in the last 7 laps, I believe. So what we thought he was doing, I believe, is 100% saving tire and bringing it.
As you see, the last 5 laps, he has been faster than our leader, sometimes by over 0.2 seconds, sometimes by less than a tenth, but still cutting into that lead, lap in and lap out. That lead is now under 3 seconds. Also important to note, Kelly Thomas did get one of his 4 laps back. He is now only 3 laps down. If all these leaders have to pit, Kelly Thomas may be in a good position himself.
And Rohe slipped a little bit, lost 3 100ths there, but you see him closing in right there mid-corner. I think this is just a matter of time. And then, of course, if we don't get another caution, he has obviously saved better than Bledsoe, and he may be able to check out.
As Alan Bledsoe still running that high line rather consistently, but he's got to be careful. He's getting really close to that wall on entry as Rhett Tucker trying to unlink himself naturally here, sitting in the 5th position, kind of hunting down our leader, trying to find his line to get by. And interesting to note, Rhett Tucker, while battling to get his lap back, maybe slowing Bledsoe down enough for his teammate to catch up and race for the lead. We could have a Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe type scenario that we saw this weekend at the Roval, where maybe a teammate's going to slow down another driver, help his teammate get by.
Yeah, we very well could, because now Bledsoe's mirror driving. If he's smart here, he just lets him go, gets back in line, and gets it going.
As we see, that lead is now down to 2.5 seconds, maybe even less here. Bledsoe just needs to let Tucker by, and he does here. And he needs to just run his race. Now, Tucker could really slow down the pace here in front of Bledsoe and help his teammate out. But I don't think Tucker wants to do that. I think Tucker wants to run as hard as he can and try to get his lap in, and try to get back towards the front again and compete for a win.
Oh, 100%. Tucker's a race. He's a racer. Get back to that lead lap, hope for a caution, and then I guarantee you he will be coming at the end. As we see, Rohe, you couldn't see him in the scene a while ago. Now in the corners, he is closing visibly.
That lead under 2 seconds now, down to 1.8 seconds, and Rohe is gaining, kind of like we saw last week in Kansas. By his time, he is gaining. He's trying to get there. Brady, have you heard anything radio chatter-wise from any of the drivers? Worries about fuel.
Nobody's really saying anything. It's pretty quiet at the moment. They should be good on fuel. Like I said, they can go 115 laps, so they should be all right.
Yeah, so we'll have to double check the last time some of these drivers were on pit road. I thought we were just outside the window when we were last on pit road, but maybe we were just on the number. So it should be interesting to see if these drivers can make it to the end. It's definitely going to be something to watch in the later stages of this race. Is Rhett Tucker, another interesting thing to note, like he's led 161 laps this year in the Cup Series, Blanchard Towing Recovery Cup Series. That's over 100 laps more than the second most laps led by a driver. That'd be Jose Luis Rivera with 58 laps led. So despite only having 1 win, he has led 161 laps this season.
Yeah, he has always won. If he can get to the front, he will. and then he'll try to figure it out from there. As you said, a couple mistakes this year keeping him from getting more wins. I'm real interested here what Rohe's going to be able to do. I thought he was closing. Maybe he was pushing a little too hard. Seems to balanced out right here all of a sudden.
Yeah, about 1.7 second lead for Bledsoe. Rohe does lead the Blanchard Towing Recovery Cup Series this year in T5s. He has more than any other driver. He has 4. Several drivers have 3 so far this year. But Rohe hasn't run every single race, so he's sitting back in 7th in points, 182 points behind Mathia. But like we said, Mathia not running tonight. It's a great night for drivers like Rhett Tucker, Jose Luis Rivera, Nathan Rohe, and Kelly Thomas to gain points on that leader coming into the chase.
Yeah, they need to take advantage of it right here, of course, and I'm watching Rohe's line. It's went from the bottom, you see him there, higher, then down low. Yeah, we're getting Alan coming on pit road.
I think these drivers do not have enough fuel. If Alan Bledsoe is pitting with about 65 laps left, I mean, is fuel the concern, or did he just feel like he'll be faster on fresh tires and can run down Rohe at the end here?
I think that's what he's feeling because they have to have it. I would think they have enough fuel. Of course, I could be wrong, as always, but I think he saw his lead was gone, take a pit, and hopefully Rohe's got to come in as well. That's what he's hoping.
With that, Kelly Thomas sitting right behind the current leader, Nathan Rohe, could get another lap back and be only 2 laps down here naturally. He's sitting behind the now current leader, Nathan Rohe. He's right there. He's trying to get by. As you can see, that Kelly Thomas 15 machine behind the 91 of Rohe. He's looking to get another lap back if he can.
Yeah, he's got about 25 lap better tires. He probably should be able to put him away fairly quickly, set sail, and all the while, they're just putting laps on Bledsoe. So this is kind of an interesting call to me, but there has to be a reason behind it. We could be completely wrong.
The second place driver, Ryan Sizemore, now I'm thinking these drivers need to pit. They may not have enough fuel to make it to the end. That's another driver who came in the same lap as everyone else pitting. So Noah Owens is going to slot in a second. Rhett Tucker in third now. Nathan Rohe, a healthy lead over Noah Owens. If he wants to try and stretch fuel to the end, he could. But I feel like these fresh tires for Ryan Sizemore and Owen Bledsoe only 2 laps down, important to note. They may be able to pass Rohe if Rohe's in fuel conservation.
Well, we've seen it over and over. Within about 16 laps, you'll get a lap back. That'll take us to 158. If you could do it 2 more times, because his pace will have to slow, this will be interesting at the end. This will be interesting.
Kelly Thomas, though, seeming to have balanced out on tires. He is no longer gaining on Rohe, and he's going to kind of be stuck here in limbo, which is unfortunate for him because he is a lap behind Sizemore and Bledsoe. Interesting enough, Sizemore has passed Bledsoe on track. So Sizemore, oh no, correction, Bledsoe's gotten back to Sizemore again. So Sizemore, I think, still on pit road, might have just gotten off. So these drivers still trying to jockey for position as our leaderboard's trying to catch up as these pit cycles continue on. But right now, still up front, Nathan Rohe by over 10 seconds on Noah Owens and Rhett Tucker.
And there, Thomas, finally, I've been waiting to watch. He's going to have to get up the track, get the momentum off to make this pass. If he's going to just run the same line or lower, I don't think he's going to get it done.
Well, Ryan Sizemore with much fresher tires, he just pitted, is coming through. He's trying to get one of his 3 laps back, and he will get one there rather easily. Sizemore now only 2 laps down as his car is flying, but he is obviously behind Alan Bledsoe in terms of drivers who have pitted so far.
Well, guys, what I think is happening is that they last pitted on lap 80, and they probably could have made it. They would have been right on the mark to make it. But what you're seeing is the 42, he hit the wall right before he pitted, so the grip's not there over the run. So tires are being more demanded now, so that's what you're starting to see is guys want those fresh tires.
Well, and that's what I thought with Rohe here, Brady. If you notice, he has not one time tickled that wall. He is staying low. He's staying out of trouble. And you're going to see Bledsoe. He'll get his lap back here in a minute. But Rohe has not challenged the wall one time. And it may end up paying benefits for him.
Important to note, though, Bledsoe is running over 1.5 seconds faster than Rohe right now on track. So Bledsoe, I mean, has something to prove. And he is trying to get one of his 2 laps back here as quickly as he can, as we are down to 50 laps to go in the Blanchard Towing Recovery Cup Series here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Bledsoe's going to get one lap here, it looks like, unless Rohe tries to block.
Yeah, he looked like he just kind of eased up a little bit and thought better of it, but that puts him back where he has a very good possibility of catching Jose Luis Rivera, get the lucky dog, and anything's possible from there.
Yeah, Jose Luis Rivera only a couple seconds ahead of Alan Bledsoe on track and about a second slower than Alan Bledsoe. So we may have a battle here for third or for second between Noah Owens and Rhett Tucker, as these two drivers are trying to fight out for the runner-up spot.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Tucker didn't bring it in, but I think he's just going to ride it all the way to the end here. Even though, as we talked, the speed difference is so staggering, I'm not sure it's going to work out if he doesn't pit.
Yeah, as the two RTR esports teammates seem to be in it for the long haul. Noah Owens as well in the 88 machine seems like he will try to go to the end. Driver for Sizemore Motorsports, teammate of Ryan Sizemore. So those are two drivers from the same team with differing strategies. Obviously, Sizemore and Owens. Sizemore came with the first tires and staying in it. So, you know, maybe Sizemore Motorsports hedging their bets here a little bit by having split strategies, while the RTR teammates of Rohe and Tucker in it to win it and go 1-2, or they will both struggle and not finish first and second.
Yeah, we're obviously going to see him struggle with 24 to go, or I'm sorry, 44 to go. It doesn't seem like much, but man, when that tightness hits you at this track, it's a handful.
Interesting to note, Sizemore and Bledsoe both each just got a lap back. They are both one lap down now. They are both hunting down Jose Luis Rivera. Sizemore actually been running better laps than Bledsoe. Sizemore maybe coming alive here in the later stages as he's caught up from Bledsoe after being about 5 to 8 seconds behind after their pit cycle. So these two drivers battling hard on track, trying to chase down Jose Luis Rivera, and they should do so next.
Yeah, the battle.
Key note, guys, that sorry, Michael, but real quick, Alan had already passed Rohe to get one of his laps back, and he was passing Jose Luis Rivera to get the lucky dog spot, as you see him doing it now, but he did do it about 2 laps ago and then got loose and spun out, but the caution did not come out, so he lost a bunch of time in that transfer spot right there.
And that may have hurt his tires as well, as Ryan Sizemore is flying, as is Alan Bledsoe. They are both now 1-2 on 1 lap down. They are both right behind Rhett Tucker now, as they're going to try to get by and chase down that leader of Nathan Rohe and try to get another lap back naturally and be on the same lap as the leaders. Then they will be praying for caution as Tucker hits the wall there in 1 and 2.
Yeah, Tucker's starting to really struggle. He couldn't get past Owens, so he gave him the old bump and run, but he got the worst of it. He put the bump on, then he's in the wall, losing time. Now he's been in the wall a couple more times.
Sizemore's starting to get loose on that bottom. I think he needs to migrate towards the top before he spins himself out, just like Alan Bledsoe did, and he's going to do that right there. So these two drivers hunting down our leader of Nathan Rohe. They should be about 7 seconds behind him on track, so they're about 22 seconds behind him in real time. Still, but both of these drivers putting down really fast laps of 15.5 each. Meanwhile, the leader, Nathan Rohe, is only running 16.6s. So that's a 1.1 second a lap. You do the math, 37 laps to go. They keep that pace as well as they can, assuming Rohe maybe drops off a little more. They could get to him in time, in theory, while still being a lap down currently.
Yeah, if they can keep the pace, remember, they got to pass him twice. So they get past him here, and I mean, Rohe's just going to hope all the tires are going to equalize and migrate to the same times. But I mean, you can physically see the speed difference. There's no question.
As Kelly Thomas on pit road, that'll probably be the end of his competitive night, as he's going to pit again. He's already 4 laps down. His night is over. As we see Jose Luis Rivera hit the wall right in front of the leader, and he's going to have to slow down dramatically. That's really going to hurt Nathan Rohe's lap there. And that's maybe the glimmer of hope that Bledsoe and Sizemore need to chase down the leader.
Yeah, that'll be a big benefit. You should see him in the picture here before too long. I know Sizemore's trying to make the pass on Bledsoe. I get it, but he is hitting that diamond hard. That is the fastest way here. Only for a few laps, because that is by far the hardest way to kill your tires.
Well,
and he was riding the wall there. Yep,
And he was
got
on
in
the
the wall.
wall 1 and 2 the lap before as well, as I was watching his camera. So Sizemore may have burned his tires out, but Bledsoe, I think, still has a chance despite spinning out. And imagine where Bledsoe would be if he hadn't spun out earlier and not brought and with no caution. He'd probably already be by Rohe again and maybe chasing him down for the win. But Bledsoe's tires have started to go away. He's barely holding on to sub 16-second lap times. Rohe consistently still 16.6. As his teammate Rhett Tucker's on the wall and is going to come down almost in front of Nathan Rohe there. That would have been disastrous for RTR Esports if those two had collided, as Tucker's going to go a lap down.
I mean, 30 to go. Bledsoe's going to have to outrun him by 7/10 a lap all the way to the end of the run. You see him coming in the picture. They're going to get on the same lap, but I do not think they'll get back around to him.
And Tucker is going to really make it hard for Bledsoe to get by, but Tucker can't do much as he hits the wall again. And Sizemore will even get by Tucker. So Rhett Tucker has gone from third to fifth in a lap alone, and he is struggling on those tires. And it really says a lot about how well Nathan Rohe's been running tonight, because he is still holding on to that lead.
Yeah, he hasn't moved off the same line for probably 100 laps. It's just right now it's a comfortable, stroll through the woods. So you see Bledsoe, he's going to unlap, get on the lead lap. Yeah, maybe. And then can they run him down in 27 laps? That's the key.
This is going to get dangerous as you have two drivers on fresh tires, and they're going to go 3 wide here. This could be, as Sizemore, that might have been the break Rohe needed. We have only 26 laps to go. I don't think they're going to catch Rohe now, especially as they're battling side by side.
Yeah, Bledsoe's just going to have to commit and try to get him on the outside, because Rohe's not going to move. He's ran the same line for 120 laps.
Yeah, and Rohe's going to go back to the bottom mid lane as Bledsoe's going to go to the high side. Bledsoe will get him here, but I think Rohe has done enough to probably seal this win late, barring a late race caution.
Yeah, like I said, Bledsoe and Sizemore are both going to have to put 7/10 a lap to 8/10 a lap on Rohe to have a chance at the end.
And I don't think they have that speed, but Kelly Thomas on super fresh tires, as he hit it again, as we saw, is going to get by Rohe here. I think Rohe's balanced out with these other drivers. He's running about 17 seconds. These other guys are running about 16.5. That's just not going to be fast. Maybe they can get some cleaner, but Kelly Thomas is.
It's fun to watch him shut out a cannon on them new tires. Just go anywhere you want to go and mash the gas, man. See you.
And that's what's one of the most entertaining things about Bristol, I think, is just how much tires really do matter if you think about it. And, Rohe's just done such a great job of saving tires that he's been able to stay out front, and I think he has put himself in that position to win this race. But, I mean, Jose Luis Rivera also came in and pitted for some fresh tires. He's now 4 laps down as he's just unlapped himself by the leaders. He's going to try to get by these two that are trying to hunt down Nathan Rohe. Jose Luis Rivera just diving it to the bottom in front of Bledsoe and Ryan Sizemore. But, he got loose there, and he almost wrecked himself and maybe others. And that may have been the caution that Alan Bledsoe and Ryan Sizemore needed.
That was a good save, and then quite an aggressive move back onto the track. I mean, that's Jose Luis at his finest right there. I got new rubber, and I'm not giving it up, man.
As he gets loose again off the corner, he's just really struggling with fresh tires here to keep the car straight. But Bledsoe and Sizemore about 14 seconds back. I think it's just too much. They'll get Noah Owens, I think. But Nathan Rohe, I think, is just too far away. They're only making up about 3/10 a lap right now. That's not going to be enough.
No, it's not. The tires are starting to equalize. They had to go hard. They knew they had to go hard. Not as bad a call as we thought it was when they went laps down. So still going to get back, get a spot. I think for sure. I mean, second, third, can't be disappointed.
For sure. I think, though, if you look at what Kelly Thomas did and how poorly that strategy went, I mean, he is now 4 laps down, sitting in 6th. Maybe not the worst thing ever, but definitely not the points night he wanted to have with Brendan Mathia being out tonight. Great points night, though, for Alan Bledsoe.
Oh, no.
They have contact there, and they're 3 wide. That was almost a caution. Oh.
That looked a little net, Cody, but he did slide up into him. So Sizemore take advantage, go into second. Let's see if he can hold it.
Noah Owens is going to put the bumper to Bledsoe if he can. It looks like he tried to there. Could not get to work. Noah Owens into the wall hard. He keeps it straight, though, but that's going to be second and third easily for Bledsoe and Sizemore as Roge's still dominating up front by 14 seconds, and that lead is not shrunk at all.
Yeah, I think Noah Owens trying the old William Byron right there. Like, why did you hit me, dude? I'm coming back to get you, and it ended up biting him.
Just could not finish him off. Yeah, tried to pull William Byron, but just could not do it. As Noah Owens telling you the driver chat, and he's pitting in. He has significant damage. I think he will go several laps down. He will drop from 4th, probably to 6th, maybe even 7th. That's an unfortunate win for his night, as he is running 2nd for the majority of this late race run.
Yeah, and as you see, it's 2-3 tenths a lap. It will not be enough at this point.
As we see these drivers coming down to the end, really the battle is for 2nd. Nathan Rohe has just done everything he needed to do tonight to have this lead. He's controlled it. It's not going to get close at all, as we're coming down to 12 laps to go. He's just got to make sure he does not get involved in an incident with drivers who come in and pit for fresh tires.
Yeah, that's the thing that'll scare you to death. Guys coming around you so fast, if you're not being aware, you can get bit real quick, as someone in the wall right there.
Bledsoe in the
That
wall,
might have been Bledsoe, yeah.
down. But it did not slow him down, it seemed, as he was able to get back to the bumper of Sizemore. Both of these drivers have just been beating down the wall almost every lap, it seems, one or the other. So, but the lap cars of Jose Luis Rivera and Kelly Thomas on much fresher tires are coming hard.
Yeah, I guess I'm underestimating how hard these things are to drive here at Bristol. It's just every person we've seen struggle, except for Rohe. Same line, nice little Sunday drive, no big deal, and cruising away.
Yeah, so it sounded like we may have had an incident on the front stretch. It sounded like someone hit the wall. We'll have to see who that was. Cannot tell what the driver was. May have been Rhett Tucker or Noah Owens. Yeah, I do not see. But Nathan Rohe's still comfortably out front.
Yeah, that'd be a game changer. They still got tires, so that'd be something. But these guys, I wasn't sure about the strategy, but it's going to pay off. Get them a 2nd and a 3rd. Pretty good deal for each of them.
Yeah, as 8 laps ago, as we see Rhett Tucker back on pit road, I'm going to assume that collision was probably him. Kelly Thomas, between Bledsoe and Sizemore on fresher tires, he's going to get clear of them, but obviously he is several laps down, 3 laps down to be exact. Jose Luis Rivera back on pit road again. He has really struggled tonight with his car. Cannot seem to find what he's looking for with how that thing is driving.
And what do you think Tucker and his crew chief's telling him? Maybe like go out and hit the pace car now, the old Days of Thunder thing? The man has had a rough night.
And I think we've seen that a lot from Tucker this season, unfortunately. He does really well early on, but he has some bad luck. Maybe he gets involved in someone else's incident. Maybe just overdrives the car. Rhett Tucker, we know, is an ultimate competitor, a really good dude, but he has just really not had the best of luck this season. As another car hit the wall in the front stretch, it looks like it was Noah Owens. And he is really struggling. A lot of these drivers are really struggling. We have 4 laps to go. Nathan Rohe's just praying he does not see a caution.
Yeah, I'm almost to the point looking for a meatball flag here. These guys are really struggling on these old tires.
Yeah, Owens is just running the apron now, as we can see here on the broadcast. But the real battle is right now for 2nd, as Rohe only has 3 laps to go, correction, as he has a commanding 12-second lead as another car hits the wall. God knows where that is in the track. Just feels like every corner someone's hitting the wall. So, oh, it sounded like we had maybe a spin here on the front stretch, but we are still green. Rohe's still up front. Jose Luis Rivera maybe been involved. Noah Owens involved. But we are still green, as Nathan Rohe should take the white flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He has the final lap as he's going through 1 and 2 for the final time. And what else can you say about this, Mike? Just a masterclass for Nathan Rohe.
Yeah, that was just let me get in a nice position, run this same pace, show him how it's done. He has never once challenged a wall. He's just middle of the track, nice and easy.
And just a dominant race by Nathan Rohe. He'll win. Ryan Sizemore, Alan Bledsoe across the line. Sizemore sneaks out 2nd place. Alan Bledsoe 3rd. But again, just an absolute masterclass tonight from Nathan Rohe, as he should be looking to burn it down here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. It's just an incredible drive tonight, like you said, and I kept it clean all night. We had enough fuel at the end, which is what matters.
Yeah, 120 lap run on that set of tires, and time it was over, nobody was gaining. It just masterful.
Yeah, and these drivers, just some of the most ultimate competitors out there, but You got to tip your hat to Nathan. Just an amazing race. Ran 120 laps on a single set of tires. Never once hit the wall. Clean line, lap in, lap out. Just methodical drive from Nathan Rohe tonight.
Yeah, fantastic. And Brady, I mean, what'd you think there? We thought we were good on fuel. Apparently we were, but what a deal for Nathan right there.
Oh yeah, just a great drive for him, guys. And you guys made me second guess that on the fuel stuff, but yeah, he had enough to make it. And there was a couple of guys that actually questioned it. How were you able to make it? But it seemed like he just managed that last run to perfection and pulled off the victory.
Yeah, as we go through the results here, Nathan Rohe, your winner in the 91 Rhett Tucker Racing Esports Machine. Ryan Sizemore finishing second in the Sizemore Motorsports number 8. Alan Bledsoe coming home in third. Just a really interesting strategy call by Bledsoe for the Slowpoke Racing number 42, and it ended up paying off. A nice podium finish for him. Rounding out your top 5, Jose Luis Rivera in 4th, and Kelly Thomas, another Slowpoke Racing driver, in 5th. Noah Owens comes home 6th in another Sizemore Motorsports entry. Rhett Tucker, I mean, he hit everything tonight, it seemed, gentlemen. He'll finish 7th in the RTR Esports Machine. Chris Blanchard will finish 8th. Zane touched in 9th, and Kyle Fountain will finish 10th after some earlier issues for those 3 drivers.
Yeah, we'll wait here while we try to get the guys in the room here so we can give them a talk. But I was thoroughly entertained. Not a big field, but a lot of action. These cars must have just been an absolute handful.
For sure. And when you look at how some of these drivers ran tonight, it's just so difficult, I think, to state how hard it is to run Bristol on really old tires, especially with these next gen Cup cars, the rack and pinion steering, the more horsepower than we've seen in a Cup car in Bristol in a while, at least in the real world, and how iRacing has set these cars. So definitely interesting to see how these drivers handled it. And some of them really struggled, and some, like Nathan Rohe, really just impressed all night.
All right, Tyler, I'm going to try to bring in Alan now. And we're going to bring in Alan, and you take it away.
Yeah, Alan Bledsoe, our 3rd place finisher tonight from Slowpoke Racing. Alan, you had that alternate strategy with that number 42 machine. You were up front for quite a few laps for most of the race. What led you to come down pit road and try to do an alternate strategy against Nathan Rohe?
Well, I didn't have the long run speed that Rogue had. Also, I got into the wall a couple times there and ended up damaging my wheel. So I kind of realized, okay, I need to pit here, get that little bit of extra damage repair, and then I'm good to take off. But ultimately, that's what happened. I got damage off of turn in the middle of turn 1 and 2 because I tried clutching it because I needed to save fuel, and just I don't know, didn't have the foot on the brakes. It was a bit of a struggle, but I'm still getting used to having a clutch pedal. This is my first. I'm only like 3 months into having this wheel and pedal set, so because I used to have the Thrustmaster T80 Ferrari edition, if you guys know what that is.
Yeah, I got the T300, so I get what the Thrustmaster is. Alan, this is Mike. I don't drive these next gens a lot, but I love this track and think I know how to drive it. Was a tight condition so bad that you guys couldn't get up to the wall? Because it looked to me, I was just blown away how well the bottom was hooking.
Well, I don't know. I felt like I was making it work pretty good. Just kind of letting off a little bit early so the car doesn't just ride up into the wall, and then dive down low to get that run off the corner. But I definitely did notice, especially on fresh tires, that bottom was rolling fast. It's just, it was just a matter of what line you preferred. Honestly, I think some of these drivers preferred the bottom line, but here at Bristol, I prefer the top. That's the way I feel is going to make the fastest times and save the tires the best. But Rogue, he was making was making every line work. Honestly, he had such a fast car. I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, well, Alan, before we let you go, we just want to give this moment for you to shout out anyone you'd like to thank for what makes you happen, and obviously it's just an impressive drive tonight.
Well, I'd like to shout out ATD for letting me put their name on the car. American Tire Distributors. If you want your tires, go to tirebuyer.com. They can ship it to your house or to whatever company you want to get your tires changed at. Also, my all the people that like to watch my races. It's awesome getting to talk to my friends and family after the race and talk about the race. That's like one of my favorite things. And obviously TJ for putting on this league and getting everybody together. I guess Brady is going to be taking over the league after this season, but yeah. Also for the Chiefs playing in the background behind me, I know they're losing right now by 10, but we're gonna come back, man. We're gonna come back. Go go Chiefs.
Well, we thank you for coming in and spending time with us and talking about the race, Alan. And we're now joined by our second place finisher, Ryan Sizemore. Ryan, you are my pick to win tonight. You showed speed, especially at the short tracks this year. At Richmond, you were very fast there. What was your mindset coming into this race tonight at Bristol?
Felt pretty good going into it, honestly. Put plenty of in and car basically where we put it. At Bristol, it's almost it up with holiday daytime how it's go. But qualified good and ran good there at the first bit. Not sure what happened there. A couple laps into it, I just got turned around. Went back to look to even see like if it was on me or someone else. I know that I went spinning to the inside wall. I had quite a bit of fix throughout the race. Into another incident, not sure what happened to that one either. I was running the high side and the car turned in front of me. He got hooked behind me or what, but just wild. To be able to come second blows my mind. Definitely wasn't the plan in front of me, but overcame adversity. Got a solid top three.
Yeah, Ryan, have a little bit of connection issues there, but this is Mike. Same thing I asked Alan. I ran this track a billion times, and the high line is always the one. Was there a tight condition kept you guys off the wall a little bit, or was it just the fact that these cars were able to hook the bottom tonight that made a little bit of a difference?
Honestly, being able to run the bottom made a huge difference. I'm used to running, right up against the wall all the way around it, but I was able to enter high and cut the car down to actually exit a little lower, carry some more momentum off the exit of the corners. Yeah, these cars are so much different from what we're used to. They drive so much different, and we're all still learning that. Just like the real life guys, we're learning each and get in them. But yeah, the bottom line, man, it was I'm used to freight training on the outside, and I was really having to fight guys. The 42, we fought back and forth 40 laps. It was like, but it was kind of, mixed up. It's running the wall some, getting on the bottom some. I actually believe the bottom is what got me by him. There's multiple grooves you could run. Fun track too.
Yeah, Ryan, and just an entertaining race and trying to watch you guys run down Nathan Rohe there. Obviously, it looked like the tires didn't have much left. But before we let you go tonight, we'd like to give this moment for you to shout out anyone that makes time for you or thank anyone that really allows you to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Sizemore Motorsports, my sponsors, Taylor's 10, Signal One Realty, The Shirt Garage, Chevrolet, Alpine Stars, just everyone that supports me, my wife, kids at home. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. So just grateful for everyone that backs me and supports me to do this. Glad to bring home a P2 for them.
Awesome, and thank you again, and congrats again on your second place tonight, Ryan. Really impressive run. Glad you could actually, pretty sure, get me the win in the broadcasters picks again. So always fun having you here.
Yeah, that's the plan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. As we're going to be now joined by our race winner, Nathan Rohe, in the number 91 Rhett Tucker Racing Esports machine. Nathan, you were able to hold off the field, did not pit in that last 120 lap run to the finish. How are you able to keep the truck clean all night long? Never seemed like you hit the wall.
You ever heard the story of the tortoise and the hare? Because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I like the line. This is Mike, Nathan. I like the line.
Mike.
You just ran the middle of the track the whole night, didn't challenge the wall, and probably lifting a little early, easy on the gas. It just worked out great for you, man. Just a great run.
It worked out the same last week. It's the same thing I did last week. I don't know. I just got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, Nathan, and I kind of was mentioned throughout the broadcast that last week you bought your time, you didn't really rush it, you were just kind of being patient, running your laps, running your line, not doing anything too crazy, and it just seemed like everything kind of worked really well for you. And you obviously were so good on those long run tires, better than anyone else in the really long run for sure. So. What was your mindset coming to the final stage? And did you have any fuel concerns? We were hearing from other drivers that maybe there's some fuel concerns late in the run. Were you good to the go by a lot, or was there a little bit of concern for a while?
No, I was fine. I had like 15 laps, 10 or 15 laps. So that was my plan. I saw Alan pit as I was coming up on him, so I was like, "Oh, guess I'm staying out," and it ended up working out in my favor. So woohoo!
Yeah, as we saw your Rhett Tucker Racing Esports teammate Rhett obviously kind of struggle all night. Was there just a difference in how you guys approached the race? What was communication like? Was there any communication between the two of you in determining what your strategy was for that final stint?
Yeah, we're always talking to each other during the race, but I don't know. I guess Rhett's just having trouble keeping it off the wall or whatever, and beating up his tires. So I think everybody's kind of balls to the wall, and it's kind of you got to be like that at Bristol. But I tried to hang in there and not be like that, and it worked out.
Yeah, it
Sorry,
worked out
Rhett.
great for you, bud. But yeah, before we let you go, bud, anybody you want to thank? I mean, this is great. 2 weeks in a row, got the win, moving up in the points, and I'm super glad to see you guys back in NASRA. So first of all, thank you guys for coming back. Thank you guys for running great. Who do you want to thank? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Haven't talked to you in a while. It's good to talk to you. Think Timeout Systems. Think RTR Racing.
Awesome.
That's
Well,
it.
thank you again.
Thank you.
No, thank you again for taking the time to talk with us tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, congrats again to our race winner, Nathan Rohe. Dominant performance in that number 91 machine, and another win for Rhett Tucker Racing Esports. As we look back on this race tonight, gentlemen, I think Nathan said it perfectly. Tortoise in the hair. He didn't do anything crazy. He wasn't trying to be the fastest every single lap. He just, ran his race, and that was enough to get him the win tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw. It was he stayed out of trouble early, got in the groove, and just ran his race. We always talk about run your race. That's what he did it to perfection.
Brady, any closing thoughts on the race tonight before we send this broadcast home?
Just congratulations to Nathan on back-to-back victories, man. It's good to see those guys run well. Congrats to the Ryan and Allen for finishing second and third. But fuel mileage race. Who would have thought at Bristol we would have had a fuel mileage race?
Yeah, as we heard from Allen, he was worried about fuel at the end. Unfortunately, the top three streak or third place streak for Jose Luis Rivera comes to an end. He finishes fourth, but finished higher than Rhett Tucker, so we'll have a new clear second place in the point standings after this week. Again, I would like to take this moment to thank our producer, Cody Knott. He also actually chose Ryan Sizemore as his race pick, so Cody Knott, my producer, and I kind of thinking along the same wavelengths. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in to NASRA 360 Broadcasting Network of the Blanchard's Towing and Recovery Cup Series, live from the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. I'd like to again thank my booth mate, Michael McKinnon, and our trackside reporter, Brady LaBeouf, for bringing us all the inside information. And with that, we'd like to bid